Welcome back to Power CEOs, the truth behind the business. We are here with Steph Shorr. She is an optimal health coach. She works with executives and entrepreneurs to really up-level their health and their peak human performance so that they can perform better in everything they do in business. And we lead from the front, Steph. We've had a lot of conversations about how do we manage, what happens when we fall off the wagon. We have coaches, why have coaches, and so much more. And in the break, we were talking about what is that absolute first step. And I believe you have a self-assessment available. How can people reach out and take this assessment so they can kind of figure out where their starting point is?
Thank you so much for asking. On my website, livethehealthyouwant.com, there's a free self-assessment you can take. And as soon as you can fill it out, you can submit it. You can even put a little video on it if you want to talk about more, or you can write something. And when you submit it, a copy will come right back to you as well. So that's a good first place to start. We've talked about a lot of different things you can do. I would recommend starting with where you feel you're lacking the most. Like if you're not doing any exercise, then movement I would consider first. And if your diet is full of processed food and so many snacks, maybe start thinking about eliminating a little of that. We have so many options to get healthier, and my self-assessment will show you the different areas in which we can look at, and maybe you can assess yourself. Reach out to me for more help if you need it. I would love to help.
Absolutely. And that was at
livethehealthyouwant.com.
livethehealthyouwant.com. Got it. And so livethehealthyouwant.com, if you want to take Steph's self-assessment, it's an excellent start. And start in the place that I like to think of health as a tire, right? And if you put your spokes, like maybe there's the movement spoke, and then there's the nutrition spoke, and sleep and hydration, like whatever part of your tire is the flattest, we want to like resuscitate that and add a little bit of tire pressure.
Absolutely,
so
because
just to make
we're
sure,
the whole picture.
Yeah, the whole picture.
We're the whole picture.
And whatever area that is in your self-assessment, take one action. If it's movement, put a little bit of movement into your day. Maybe take 5 minutes or a minute each hour while you're sitting. If it's hydration, start paying attention to that, but figure out where you are and where you can up level. And if you're already doing a lot of these things and you know that there's more to go, pick where you tend to procrastinate. Because one of the things that I find in business, and I know it happens in health as well, Steph, is we procrastinate the things that we really don't want to do or that's harder for us. And those are the areas where coaching really helps. So do you see that in health as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I would say 90% of it's in the diet, honestly. And it's not even our fault. And people need to stop feeling guilty. It's really what's been presented to us. So you can start by saying, this is not my fault, but what do I do?
Yep. I love it, but what do I do? And you know, what I heard is the processed foods is one of the worst things. So shop the perimeter of the grocery store, they like to say, the produce, the meats, the things that are not already prepackaged and coming in a box, because usually that has a lot of extra ingredients. Like if we're going to go, because we're busy and we're executives, we're entrepreneurs, we're very busy. We have very busy lives. Sometimes we're also moms and whatever else on the side. What is a good rule of thumb when we are out? How many ingredients? If something has more than X ingredients, we should put it down and pick something else up. Like what do you use as a rule of thumb?
Do you mean when shopping for food or eating in a restaurant? And
yeah,
shopping,
when shopping
for food?
Mm-hmm.
It's a challenge. It is a complete challenge. One thing I look for is vegetable oil in a product, and I won't buy it. Vegetable oil is highly inflammatory. So you want to look, the oils that I believe are healthy is like olive oil, sesame oil, maybe a little bit of avocado oil. And there's something called perilla oil that's used in a lot of Asian cooking that has omega-3s in it. This is a whole nother subject, but I would look for things like that. I would watch the things that you can't pronounce. I would say 3 ingredients, that's pretty good. And a problem is if you're in most grocery stores, you're not going to find very much, although it is getting better. I remember being in Colorado in the 90s, and I could not find one popcorn that didn't have some kind of awful oil in it. I almost had a rant in the middle of the store. But now it's a lot better. I would suggest sticking with, if you're shopping, stick with fresh fruits, hopefully more low sugar, like apples and pears. Grapes and pineapple are kind of high sugar. And bananas, I would have those if you have them early in the day, and not too many fruits in the day. Then you're getting too much sugar too. I would suggest vegetables are our best friend pretty much. And a lot of greens, fresh greens. Hopefully you live somewhere where they grow them. That's even better. Try to do organic. We have a lot of chemicals in our food. Our bodies aren't really designed to handle that.
Absolutely. So thank you for that. And I'm with you. If I can't pronounce it, I don't put it in my hair, I don't put it on my skin, and I don't put it inside my body. Of course, when we're out to eat, we don't have that. But from a planning and a prep standpoint, that's definitely something I do. So, well, if we were going to leave everyone today with this is the most important thing that you can do for yourself. We've already taken the health assessment. We've already got some first steps. What would you say it is so that they can show up and be their best and lead from the front in their organizations from a healthy body standpoint for their teams and employees?
I would say don't be too hard on yourself when you're doing this. Try to be objective and observe your habits and what you're doing and find out where you think is the most deserving of attention. Is it sleep? Is it lack of exercise? You'll know. I mean, if you're honest with yourself, it's pretty obvious. And if it's three things, pick the one that you can do that's easier for you to tackle right away. Because again, we are so busy, we're bombarded with information all day long. It's overwhelming. So we have to have time for ourselves, for our self-love, our health, our self-care, because I saw the sign in a doctor's office when I was about 20. If you don't take care of your body, where are you going to live?
That's a great sign. I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I like that you brought up start with the thing that's the easiest, because what that is that's your forward momentum, and we talk about that a lot on this show. It's what is the momentum? We have to do something today, right now, to create that forward momentum, so that everything else just sort of we overcome that initial inertia, and once that first thing, that easy thing is done, that becomes part of who we are. It's easier to add the next thing because we've already seen that forward momentum and we're not just starting from scratch. So I'm gonna, if I can, go ahead and give an action step to everyone. You've been here, you've listened to all of this, sleep, hydration, movement, you've heard it here before, but let's start with our posture, because that's the easy button. You can do a couple backward shoulder rolls every hour while you're in front of your desk or when you're right before you walk into a meeting. And what that does is it gives you the posture check so that we're already in alignment. And then I would add to that, if you're already doing that, I would do a movement minute every hour, because that's something that's easy. It requires no preparation. All you need to do is stand up and sit down. That was super easy that Steph gave us. Or pumping you're doing some calf raises, doing some knee extensions. But let's start with the smallest, easiest step today so that we can start moving towards this. Okay, Steph, so this has been really fantastic. I really appreciate everything that you've brought here today. How can people reach out to you if they want to learn more about what you're doing, or they want to learn more about the Beamer or some of the other amazing technologies that you're involved in?
They can contact me through the website, or they can email me at stephanieshorr@icloud.com. That's Stephanieshorr@icloud.com. Take the free self-assessment. And that's probably the easiest way to start. There's no charge for that, no obligation for anything. And small steps are best. Don't try to do everything at once, because it's just not reasonable. We're so busy. Every little thing you do will accumulate into a healthier self. And I love the idea of starting with the posture. And my immediate thought went, well, now that you're in good posture, hold your core tight, do an isometric just in the core, and that will have an impact. That's all good. And hold the core all the way down to your hips. Hold that part of your body as tight as you can for maybe 10, 15, 20 seconds. No one can see it on screen, and you're helping your body.
I love it. No one can see it on screen. Get your core tight. No one can see it if you're doing your core isometrics at the boardroom table either. I am going to say that. Okay,
We have
Steph,
to do it when we can. We have to take advantage of the moment.
That's right. We are at the end of our show. Is there any last minute thing that you want to share? Anything else you want to share with our audiences today?
I would say, again, be gentle on yourself. Don't be too self-critical. Don't feel like you're a failure if you ate this or ate that. Just think, tomorrow's another day. I don't feel so great after eating that. I'm going to try to eliminate it.
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure having you here. Thank you for everything you've brought today, Steph.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. And you, yes, you've already got your action step for the day. It's to get yourself in good posture, to hold yourself there, to do a little bit of movement every hour to make sure your blood is circulating so that you can continue to be energized through your day, to be more effective and efficient with everything you do. Don't wait. Start now. If you haven't done it already, now is the time. Do some backward shoulder rolls. Get yourself nice and uptight, and do a little core isometric. Tighten those muscles so that you can start the journey. Fortunately, all good things do come to an end, including this show. But the good news is we'll be here same time, same station next week. So until then, go win today, win this week, and we'll see you next time.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.